That noise right there. It's a disease that spreads to every woman around her to let every woman know you are not sexually viable. If one girl in the friend group puts you in the friend zone,
women truly be just friends, or more importantly, are men only friends with women they find attractive / that have potential? Can they ever truly be just friends? Yes, but there is some research that suggests something quite suspicious, which is that when you look at what people value in friends, in opposite sex friends, men tend to value traits that they also value in opposite sex romantic partners, like having beautiful female friends. And when you look at women, what they like in opposite sex friends, they tend to like traits that they also like in romantic partners, like strength. And they wouldn't want those traits in same sex friends. That's important. And so some people have suspected that this is a sign that opposite sex friends are often just suitors, essentially, backup mates. So what I would say to this is that men and women can be just friends, but they often aren't, and they often function as something else, essentially, you know, a suitor or someone waiting in the wings.
I love that.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm with
everybody's
everyone.
girlfriend.
I'm dating all of them.
I'm with everybody.
So
I'm going to Coachella and I'm everybody's girlfriend here.
I'm going to make a distinction that Mackin didn't make, and if we ever have a conversation, I'd actually like to ask him about this. It is 180% different, 180 degrees difference. If a man asked a woman to be friends than if a woman asked a man to be friends. If I shoot my shot and you reject me and you put me in the friend zone, we're not really friends. That's not what's going on. I shoot my shot and I miss. That's the friend zone. If I'm just cool with everyone and I'm hosting a podcast with like 12 girls and I put you in the friend zone, that is a completely different paradigm. So when we talk about men and women being friends, again, if you're a dude and you've been on a 12-month deployment to Afghanistan and you come back and the first girl you talk to is super hot, no, you can't be friends with her. You can't. You have so much desperation. You've been in jail for 10 years, you get out, you can't be friends. I agree. If you're a dude and you have a girlfriend and the two of you see women together and you have plenty of sex, it is not a problem being friends with women. It's super easy. I have a ton of female friends. Bex and I have been friends for years. We've been friends for a long time. But the issue is, the reason why I can do that is because I am being validated by other women in other places, and so that's not that big of a deal. But the difference is, there's no girl here who will even tell you that I ever hit on them. It was never a situation where I shoot my shot and then you demote me to the friend zone. That is the difference. And here's the other problem with the friend zone, is that when women put you in the friend zone and they tell their friends about it, oh, he tried so hard and it was cute, but like, I'm just not really feeling it. That noise right there. It's a disease that spreads to every woman around her to let every woman know you are not sexually viable. If one girl in the friend group puts you in the friend zone, you are not sexually viable to any of them. Now, if you put them in the friend zone, you're viable to all of them. That's the difference. That is ultimately the difference. And the other thing I'll tell you is that when you're taken, when you act like you're taken, men are about 30% more. The numbers I saw went from 59% to like 91%. Women found men to be more attractive when they saw the wedding ring. Those men were more attractive. Not that they wanted to sleep with them, but they found those men to be more attractive.
Those are unhealed women.
That is always the answer, isn't it? Whenever women do women things.
When are women ever healed?
Whenever women do women things, the answer is they're unhealed.
Certificate. When do you get the degree in
It's
healed?
always unhealed.
Or they've already been trained.
But being put in the friend zone and being friends with someone are two completely different things. You can meet someone
Agreed.
and
That's
just
my
be friends
point.
with them because you like them. And people that cannot be friends, and there's a lot of people that believe or think or how they act, they cannot be friends with the opposite sex. They're extremely immature and insecure and living in a whole different world. It blows my mind. There's a lot of people like that.
For those guys who are out there, you shooting your shot and getting put in the friend zone, you end up like the dude. I chased you every day for a year.
That dude has been in the friend zone.
That guy's been in the friend zone.
And when he's married, he'll be in the friend zone.
He's still in the friend zone.
Yeah.
And that's not the first girl to put him in the friend zone. That's how he's been trained.
How does somebody control
But if you're a man and you put her in the friend zone, that actually can lead to something in the future because you're something still she can admire. You didn't just give it away for free because you're so desperate. You actually showed that you have some standard, right? You know, like you mentioned it before, you're like, oh, all your ex-girlfriends are hot. You notice that, right? That's something that, like, well, that's something that people notice, right? I'm the mid guy that has the hot girlfriend that he was talking about before. That's why I'm such a great salesperson. But no, the same type of situation. Women will notice that, but I don't do this thing where I'm like, hey, let's hook up later. It's like, oh, you don't like me? That's cool. Let's just be friends. That is a terrible strategy that most guys try.
That?
So you mean there's a chance?
Weird.
I'd say most guys are like that.
No, being shot down is different than just meeting someone and being friends, though.
Right,
you're
but again,
shot
again-
down
That's
if
the
you're like,
history there.
yeah,
in the
it's one thing if you
friendship.
try something with someone and it doesn't work and it's okay and you guys become friends, and it's
Yeah.
another like, ew, get away from me. I obviously don't want to be friends with you then.
Right.
Right. But I think a lot of women are friends with men who are only there because of their physical attractiveness. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah. Like a lot of my female friends,
all
I'd
men
still be
care
friends with
about.
them even if they weren't physically attractive. And like, but that's because I have enough abundance in my life to where, and also like I remember when I had to put my cat down, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was putting one of my cats to sleep. And when I did that, it was just women who were supporting me because it's like, here's where you need to go. Here's how the procedure is going to work. They walked me through the whole thing. Having female friends helped me in that situation. And so with other guys, they're just like, I can never be friends with female. Blow me or blow me out. They go after the girl. And if the girl doesn't immediately like respond sexually, then it's like, fuck that girl, whatever. Or they wait in the wings, like what Mac was talking about. They're waiting for their chance to pounce on the girl. I'm gonna wear her down and be like, your boyfriend's such a piece of shit.